Okay, so this particular morning I'm knocking off a couple of videos. I've knocked off 3 already. This is the 4th one. So this one now has to do with my roof. I've heard so far that my roofing is poor material. I've heard so far that those lights, that light I'm seeing up there, means they didn't kiss the zinc, and you can see that it didn't touch in the middle there. So when rain falls, you see water coming, and you see those slits in the zinc. They too are problems. So those are things that I have to deal with. The ceiling joints, these wood, right? What I'm discovering is you have the hard one and you have the soft one. 35 cedis for the hard one, 2x2 lengths, and 30 or 32 for the softer one that they claim is no good. I am assuming, I'm not even sure what I should assume, because the kitchen was done just after I got here. I didn't purchase the wood. The kitchen and the first room that we moved into with the closet was done for me to move in so that I could put it in the ceiling. And I remember when the mold came in, we had to move out of the room. Somebody came here and said there was a possibility that it was leaking and that caused the mold. Possible? I don't know. It's not something that I can prove because I ain't climbing up there. 1, 2, mold exists, and you don't even have to have moisture dropping on your ceiling for you to have mold in your house in Ghana when it's rain time, right? So let me put that out there. The roof is something that I have to address because I can't control anything, as a matter of fact, in terms of the building materials, and many of it I learned after. So the ceiling joints for the kitchen, the front bedroom and closet was done before. Now, when you're using wood, you have to think about rotting, chichi or termite or whatever the problem is. In fact, now that I'm talking about it, I get the impression based on what persons have said that there are 2 different things that can be eating your wood. Termite and something else. I'm not sure if that's true or because I call it a different name. I think some people call the same termite chichi. But some people say it's 2 different things. Anyway, why am I mentioning that? When I came in and saw the roofing one day, I'm positive I saw something that looks like something was eating it. Now the wood, a poison was bought for the wood to be treated before it went up. And I know enough people will understand if I say, how you do things is not so everybody does things. I am the homeowner. So if I am using a poison to paint the wood so that it treats the wood and prevent termites from eating it, I made a different job from the persons or the workmen here who trying to get things done as quickly as possible. So I don't know how well they did the painting of the poison on the wood that was here before. The wood in the ceiling and the joints in the kitchen and the front bedroom and closet. No idea. What I have noticed recently is I see shavings dropping on the counter in the kitchen. So I had my 18-year-old go up, mix some of the same poison and tried painting, but it's a little bit awkward. I'm positive we didn't get all the spots, that it's possibly a problem, and I don't like to climb up. So I had to depend on my daughter to do it, and I'm not sure how much because I'm sure I still see, wood droppings on the section in the kitchen. Now, there's another section that I recently saw thing, and if you look, you see fine holes. If you get close, I think some really tiny holes, not the dirt collection from the termite, but some little fine holes. If you get close to these things, that to me suggests it's 2 different kind of insect, 2 different kind of beast. If I'm wrong, correct me. The problem now is in this new room. I noticed that three little holes, I don't know if I can get them on the video, appeared in the wood that we just put up on the ceiling. The board for the joints, my daughter and myself were the ones who painted, and I made we got a brush because we didn't have a little spray pan. We got a brush, made the poison, and painted the wood, all four sides of every length that we had. And those are the joints that went up in the closet in the back room and the room itself. The wood now, the thin ply that they use for the ceiling, I don't know if we should have treated that, and I don't know if that is the problem or the wooden before. So let me see if I can get a picture of the holes that I saw. Let me see if, yeah, those holes in the ceiling. That's what we saw, because we saw some shavings on the fabric that we have here. I made a little, it looked like a couch, but it's not a couch. My daughter wanted somewhere to sit. It's one of those bins, one of those large bins, and I put wood on the top so that I don't totally break up the top, and put a sponge on it so she can sit on it. So we saw some dust on the blanket here, and we looked up. And then we looked up and saw that one, we saw this. Let me see if you can see this as well. Let me see. Can I find it? I think there is 3. Oh, sorry. There it is. 3 there as well. So my question is, where did those come from? What is causing it? And then I am thinking, as soon as you think you solve, another one turns up. So the question is, what do I do? Do I take the poison and paint that section and hope nothing else not turn down? Do I ignore it and hope for the best? Because sometimes I feel that way, you know. Sometimes when you solve the problem, one problem and another, I just shake my head and say, Lord, I'm going to just leave it in your hands. I'm going to just ignore it after that. Because if I follow everything that crops up here, it drives me nuts. And raise my frustration and pressure level all the way up there. I don't know what the problem is. So if anyone knows what that is and can tell me what I can do about it, please feel free to comment. But right now, it makes me wonder how many of these joints, how many of the frame for the ceiling is in jeopardy of collapsing. And then I'm saying to myself, would it have been better that I use a cast roof? Because that comes with its own problem, you know. I know that, because I know one person now who most of the house is this kind of roof, and there's a section that they cast, but they're having leaks. And my house in Jamaica, I remember, I casted all the roof, but there were problems, especially the biggest room. I remember, I think it was 3 or 4 times I had persons come in and told me, based on advice from different people about what you could use to prevent that, I've done it. And it just didn't, I don't think it solved the problem. So you had these mold things coming through, you know. So now, not only do I have the worry of, is Chichi eating the wood with the roof? Now I'm wondering if these flat boards have another insect, or is the insect coming from the Chichi or the poison tool that I used Is there a problem with it? It attacks certain insect but not attack certain other insects. So that too is another issue that I'm having to try and figure out. And that is outside of the fact that I need to figure out how to cover that middle part of the roof in a way that I don't have water sprinkling in when, and that has to be done before the weather. I have what, 3 months max to get that started before the rainy weather hit. And please, yes, they have rainy weather usually, but I hear the amount of rain falling from I got here till now is very unusual. So I'm not totally been without rain at any point, right? So understand that firstly. So I have to figure out. Somebody gave me an advice: put in some more joints and those flaps, those overlap where the zinc is, so that I can nail them to a joint, and therefore get rid of the light that you can see in the gap of the overlap. And then in the middle part, buy some more of those caps and double up. I saw in the village they had these concrete things, and like they concrete it onto it. I was asking my mason if that could be done to my roof, and then he mentioned the fact that my zinc was poor quality. He still has not answered me the question if that means I can do that, use that as a solution. But he did mention the poor quality of my zinc. And the zinc now, with the help of persons, I was advised on the zinc to use, and I was advised as to the person for the windows, and as I said before, I'm still solving the problems of the window. Most of it is solved, but I'm realizing that let me show you these. Everybody know these. Wait. Alright. These sliding windows. Well, I discovered that between here, when I looked the first time it was done, let me see if I can still. When you go to the side like this, right? Before I had the window, a different window man fix that window, I could look outside through the side. So these windows in this room, that one and this one, this window on the side, window man he gave is a different window man from all the other windows in the house. He did this, right? But what I'm noticing, because I spoke to him and he looked at the windows, I remember how the man shaked his head when he looked at the windows. So I realized it was him coming that made me realize how many things the previous one did not do. Right? So when you look between the sliding parts of your window, you're not supposed to see any space. Not supposed to see any space, right? Not supposed to have sticking and itching. These things not supposed to be falling out like that, because there are these padded things in here. That kept happening with the windows, all the other windows that the guy did, right? The Ghanaian did. It's another Ghanaian who fixed it, right? So this window felt solid. The mesh not so hot, but that's generally the problem unless you're going to invest in very, very strong windows from China. Not all of us can do. I'm not saying persons are supposed to do that, but I'm saying that you get, well, sometimes you don't get what your money buy either. But anyway, as I was saying, the space between the windows, you're not supposed to be seeing to it, so that once you're looking outside through that space in between the sliding doors, something is missing. I didn't know that something was missing until the man came and fixed it. So he had to replace one side in the back window facing the back. He had to replace one side and put on a lock, because the guy did not put on this lock. He had this on it and he did nothing, and I mean nothing, guys. This little thing here, he did not put it on it at all, and therefore we did not have that lock. Right? The mesh, and I'm going to tell you about the mesh for the window. The front window was the same, but what I noticed the gentleman did, whatever he put between the sliding bars, it blocked that area there, so nothing can come through it. You learn those things as you. So for the 3 windows that I need to put in, I'm not gonna have that problem, because once I can put together the money, the gentleman who did this last window here and the fixing of the others will. The laundry window is in the same situation, the space in between, because they did not put what was needed there, and the kitchen a little bit, and the lock, it has failed on it, and so, but that middle part, once it's there, it's not so bad, because it freezes everything. You can't move left or right. Well, it shouldn't be able to. But I don't want to get too long with this video. It was really to talk about the ceiling. Remember, I need persons to comment about that and tell me what is eating, what caused those tiny holes, and what can I do to solve the problem. Because I ain't taking down these, but I ain't taking them down. So tell me if I have to tear them down, or tell me if I can solve the problem with some chemicals. All right? Thank you.